finally en route. Gosh, what a palaver that was with all the COVID mess. I landed in France about 45 minutes ago, and about half an hour outside Calais. So a few of the testers that I had to go through en route here was the announcement of the 5-day Italian quarantine, which meant that I had to push my trip back by 24 hours. I was meant to leave yesterday, but I actually left today. And other testers was Italy changing their negative COVID test from 72 hours to 48 hours and having to move that back by 24 hours. And the final straw that nearly broke the camel's back was the batch that I've got for my double vaccination is one of the three dodgy batches that are not approved by the EU, so that was a trial. Anyway, I did make it, and you can see from the back of the car that the car is absolutely rammed. I took all day yesterday loading the car. Amongst its contents are a new sail, a new life raft cradle, a whole load of boat DIY stuff to keep me busy over the next 5 days where I've got to sit on the boat. Most of the contents from my last boat, all the sort of dishes, pans, all that sort of paraphernalia that is all packed up in here somewhere, along with 5 days food as well that I needed to think about. Not allowed any dairy produce or any meat produce or any derivatives, although I have to confess I did put a couple of litres of long life milk in the bottom of the car, hoping that they wouldn't find it if they looked through the car. So amongst the other challenges, as well as COVID, was also the Brexit challenges with so the meat and dairy fiasco, and then also the issues regarding taking stuff into France now, which is subject to EU VAT. So if I'm stopped by customs, they will assess the value of all the goods that I've got with me, and despite the fact I've already paid UK VAT on them, I would have to pay EU VAT on them as well. Roll on Brexit. So the sat nav says that I should arrive at 10:51. It's now 11:51. Yeah, 10 to midnight in the marina, and it's now 10 o'clock. So by my calculations, that's a 14-hour route. So the sat nav's taking me via the Mont Blanc tunnel, which is apparently the most direct route. It's obviously a toll tunnel, but it is beautiful, that run up to Chamonix, so I shall enjoy that. It'll probably take me about 8 hours to get to Chamonix, I'm estimating, and then there will be probably a further sort of 5-6 hours, 6 hours probably from Chamonix once you get through the tunnel down. I think the route takes me past Milan and Turin, and then down to past Pisa, Livorno, and into the marina. I've made arrangements for them to leave the keys on the boat, so seriously hoping that they've done that, because if they haven't, I shall be sleeping in the car. So if I do get tired, I'll obviously take a break, maybe have a nap in the car. But with all the stuff in the car, I can't really leave it, so see how we get on. So I'm going to sign off there, and I will post probably tomorrow morning from the marina with an update on what I found there. So for those of you who don't know, I bought this boat back in October. We went out to see it in September last year, bought it in October, and since October I haven't seen the boat at all. I've had 5 trips booked, 4 of them cancelled, one at Easter, one at May, and a couple in June, all of which have been cancelled. This is the 5th time that I am trying to go out to the boat, and finally success. So I'm looking forward to getting out of the boat. Got no idea what the previous owners have left on there, how they've left it equipped, whether they've completely emptied it or whether there's some bits and pieces on there. So I've had to sort of pack really for the worst. So yeah, I shall update you with a post tomorrow morning when I get there. Well, I thought it was time for a check-in. It's Sunday evening. I'm on day 5 of my lockdown. Feels like day 5 in the Big Brother household, but I think I'm officially sort of out of it, although I've got to have a COVID test tomorrow morning. So I've had a good 5 days on the boat, kept myself very busy, done lots of work, so I thought I'd maybe just give you a quick tour of bits that I've been doing. So this is my job for today. The teak work on this boat was absolutely filthy. I've been left for a year, so I've scrubbed it. Didn't realise how much teak there was on this boat, actually, a lot. But I've scrubbed it all by hand. I have used a teak brightener, try and lighten it up a bit, lighten up any dark bits, and I've run out of teak oil, but this is the sort of finished effect on the hydraulic transom. A few other jobs I've been doing. I brought a life raft with me because the one that was here was I think 6 years out of date. So I brought a life raft, installed the cradle there. Hope it's solid enough, don't want to lose it. Other bits and pieces, I've been checking on the navigation systems, making sure those all work. I had a bit of a session last night with the sails because they hadn't put the sails up, but very luckily I found a really nice friend here who's my new best buddy, Claudio, who gave me a hand, and we managed to reinstall the in-mast furling mainsail. He's actually invited me for dinner and to watch the match tonight, which should be interesting. We'll be batting for different teams. In terms of the foredeck, again, I've teak oiled the front deck, which looks really quite cool now, and also the sunbathing platform. And yeah, run out of teak oil, so I'll try and get some tomorrow before I head off. Mounted the foresail on my own. That wasn't too difficult, and it's a self-tacking jib, so fairly easy to sail on my own. Over the summer, over the winter, they installed some solar panels on the boat, which charge the boat when it's under sail. Other bits that I have done a full inventory of everything that was left on the boat, which frankly wasn't very much. I think they're a bit miffed at the hard bargain that I drove with them, so they decided to take absolutely everything off the boat. So it's all gone. Downstairs, a few bits and pieces that I've done. Bit of a mess, but relatively tidy. You can hear the air conditioning going. That was installed over the winter, so it's nice and cool down here. What I have done, this is the owner's cabin, and one thing I did do yesterday is install some new shower units in here and in the other one because they're a bit grotty. And yeah, so checked out all the instruments. I've got somebody coming tomorrow morning to reprogram the MMSI number, which has changed for the boat before I set off. It's coming at 8 o'clock. So I've got a COVID test at 10 tomorrow, and then I am heading out. So yeah, on my Todd, I'm hoping this boat's going to be quite easy to sail with the roller reefing in mast. Furling should be fairly okay. All the controls are really cool on the Hansa. They all come back to the cockpit here. Other thing that I've done, if you can see or not, is I have re-signed the boat, renamed the boat, and I've done all the sign work on here on the where the transom's down, but also when the transom's up, there's a big sign on the back as well, which I've done. So yeah, been kept pretty busy, and said I'm heading off 10:30 on my Todd tomorrow for Majorca. The forecast isn't great, so we've got a mistral blowing up, so by the time I get north of Corsica it's going to be blowing about 30 knots with a 3-metre swell. But it's a big boat, and yeah, hopefully it all goes well, and yeah, really pleased with it. It's a sexy beast, and I've loved spending a few days on board, just getting to know her and get myself familiar with her. So I'll probably make a couple of videos on my way over to Majorca, just with a quick sort of update of progress, and I'll sign out now. So we're finally underway. Left about 10:30 this morning, which is Monday 12th of July. Looking back, we're about 8-9 miles off the Italian coast, and we're heading for the tip of Corsica. So on the chart, which is quite useful to have a look, this is the west coast of Italy. We're heading to the top of the finger of Corsica, which the Italians affectionately call the finger. And once we get there, we will be heading effectively southwesterly down to Majorca and Minorca, which is sort of down here. So coming across here under Minorca and dropping into Calador. The forecast is pretty abysmal. The forecast of 3-metre waves, and gusting up to 30 knots of wind, which is coming out of the Gulf de Lion here. It's not uncommon in the Med. So the Mistral blows, it blows straight out from the Gulf de Lion and pumps down here, down to Africa. So it's going to be relatively calm until we pass over the top of Corsica, and then I think we'll pick up the head of the Mistral. Hopefully we'll miss the worst of it, because it fizzles out probably about sort of 20-30 miles off Majorca. So I expect nightfall to be off Corsica here, probably daybreak west of Corsica. We've got a whole day to go, and then during the second night I think I'll be skirting around the south of Majorca, and I anticipate being into Calador probably around about sort of 10, 11 o'clock on Wednesday. So that's the route. Just cooking up a chilli while it's calm. Have some leftovers. I'll put that to one side so that I don't have to cook when we're over on the side. So yeah, I will check in probably this evening just before the sun goes down. Good morning, it's 9:20 on Tuesday morning. As you can see, the sea state's chossed up a bit. It's blown about 20 knots. See the flag there. You can see, yeah, it's not as bad as it was forecast to be, which was 30 knots and 3 metres swells yet. Although I suspect it might get a bit worse later on. So an eventful night. Quite a lot of traffic, ferries going in and out of Corsica. There's a lot of ferry traffic goes from the mainland in France to Corsica. So spent a bit of the night, early morning, dodging ferries. Now left Corsica, and yeah, probably just over a third of the way there. I originally thought I was going to get in sort of midday-ish on Wednesday, and now I think probably it's going to be Wednesday evening, maybe even a bit later. Which isn't ideal, going into somewhere you don't know in the dark. But not going to worry about that for the moment. Yeah, just reefed down. Yeah, mainsail's probably 50% reefed. Foresail's about the same. So yeah, looking good. And I've got help from my autopilot as well. I think this job would be pretty much impossible without one of those. So yeah, I managed to get a bit of sleep as well. It's a bit like Japanese or Chinese torture, which one it is. I set my timer on my phone every 30 minutes to wake me up, just to see what was going on. It took me about 10 minutes to get to sleep. Slept for 20 minutes and then woke back up again. So disturbed, but I don't feel too bad. Not too bad. So right, I'll see how this evolves and check in later. So 7:15 on Wednesday morning. The sun's just coming up. I had intended to do a couple more vids on the way over, but to be honest, it was a bit hairy. Sea state starting to settle down a bit now, but after the north end of Corsica, I pretty soon hit sort of gale force 8-9 winds, pumping out of the Gulf de Lyon with big seas as well. So reduced sail, and yeah, the boat handled itself pretty well, a bit better than I did. I was seasick yesterday, and I'm very, very rarely seasick. It was pretty rough, and on your own, trying to handle a boat seasick's not the easiest thing, and found it very difficult to get any sleep as well, so pretty knackered. But I'm guessing by the state of the sea that I'll be probably over the worst of that. It's now blowing about sort of 10-15 knots, and we are doing about 6-7 knots on a bearing of 235, just to the south end of Majorca. My biggest issue is that I told Becky that I would be in today, and looking at the charts, doing the chart work, I won't be in until Thursday, later or mid to late afternoon, I don't think. So she'll be clucking about where I am, and I have no way of contacting her. So what I will try and do is pick up a mobile phone signal off the end of Majorca when I get there, which won't be until probably very late tonight, I would have thought. I'll start to, no, it's probably early tomorrow morning I'll pick up a signal in Majorca, but I'll text her as soon as I can. Right, that's me signing off for the moment. I'm going to try, I haven't eaten anything for 24 hours, so I'm going to try and have something which I shall select carefully, and I'll check in later.